Hello and welcome back to Overwatch Contenders Full Series Career. We have 2 days of round robins left for our Contenders Career teams trying to secure their spot into the playoffs next week. And with such intense matches happening, especially last night's matches, we're expecting a lot more energy to come out as they confirm their final few points and place themselves within their playoffs. Papadaka and myself, Opara, will be leading you through these next 2 days to see who makes the playoffs and who falls short. So on a scale of 1 to 67, Pap, how excited are you really?
Oh, hello everybody. Maybe only about 67 to be honest. Or yeah, not much.
Next level excitement coming up from Pap.
What?
Yeah.
Apara, I am very, very excited about today's matches. I mean, I only need to mention the first map, and I don't think I could get you to be quiet. We've got Dreamers versus SPG. For those that don't know, very long running now, ever since the summer series, the beginning of this year, when we cast the Korean Contenders. Apara picked Dreamers, and they've been absolutely smashing it so far.
Early on, they had a couple of falling behinds against especially O2 Blast and whatnot. They went head to toe with them, and so definitely they were that underdog team. They proved why they deserve to be considered an underdog team, especially with their Overwatch League run. So very exciting to see them back in Contenders. See my boys back. It's good.
It is 2 undefeated teams though. Like SPG, They got close, very, very close, but just managed to eke it out for a 3-2. So, but Dreamers, they've had a bit of I wouldn't say easier run, but they've definitely 3-0'd all of their opponents, whereas SPG haven't managed to 3-0 just yet. But maybe this could be the first time that Dreamers are really challenged in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I think the better way to put it is they've just had a stronger run so far. They've 3-0'd Limix and they've 3-0'd Euphoria. And so now it's just will they be able to 3-0 SPG and make it a nice clean sweep for themselves so far? Obviously, they still have one more match after that, but yeah, definitely looking strong for themselves at the moment.
And then the second match will be Revival versus Pokerface. Now, and Pokerface is such a strong team right at the top, and then Revival falling down. But can they pick themselves back up? But anyway, here is the week 1 to 2 group stages over.
Yep, don't forget each group is playing a round robin at the moment for these few weeks to try get into the playoffs. The top 3 seeds from each group will enter into the playoffs. As you can see here, these are our playoffs. They'll be happening next week, and it's going to be some very fun matches. Of course, the winners will be going up against each other at the WDG Esports Studio, seeing that LAN battle again. That's what we live for.
Good. Yeah, we're doing, I think you and I were doing Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So we're doing this, we're going to cover the semis with you guys, of course. But yeah, seeing everyone back on LAN will be great. We might even see a couple of wonderful people in the audience as well for the sign meta, perhaps, if we can pick that one back up again. But yeah, I mean, currently though, we're still in those rounds. And a lot of these players here, a lot of these teams, are trying to get out of the lower 2, because if you are at the bottom, you cannot go any further, Apara.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of our teams are now considered out, especially with JNGK taking down Euphoria 3-0 yesterday. That does leave Euphoria and Limix, unfortunately, out for playoffs contention. It has confirmed SPG, Dreamers, and JNGK. The question now becomes, where are they seeded? Euphoria and Lemix, they just have to, have a match against each other, have some fun maybe, see who comes out on top, see who's not, quote unquote, the lowest of the low. And then on the other side for Group A, Revival still have a chance to come into this. They've got 2 more matches. Lo and behold, one of them is going to be very hard. Pokerface, considered one of the top teams. That will be an intense battle for Revival. But hey, stranger things have happened. Revival could bring themselves a revival, take down Pokerface, and put themselves into playoffs contention.
I mean, we saw what Panthera could do, right? When Arpen got player of the match, because he absolutely popped off on the tank. So perhaps we'll see a little bit of revival from Revival. But again, as you said, Pokerface, man, that is going to be such a tough matchup. But if they can somehow pull it through, they will be versing Panthera tomorrow for their final match up. And if they can take that home, then they will beat Panthera. However, that's going to be really tough. As you said, though, this is our first match. SPG versus Dreamers. And this one will be close, I presume. But Dreamers have just been looking so strong. However, it has been a while since they have hit the field.
I mean, you know I'm excited for this match. This is going to be a fun one. SPG, they've been coming out on top in their matches, but not flawlessly. They have had struggles, and it's especially once that third map hits. Once we go to Flashpoint, all of a sudden, SPG seem to kind of fall apart. If Dreamers take the first two maps, it's going to be scary times for SPG. They're going to have to put themselves in that sort of reverse sweep mentality that all the other teams have been putting themselves up with SPG.
Yeah, I mean, consistently SPG, they've done well, but they've always struggled to close it out. They're leading 2, and then their opponents just happen to get over them for 2 matches, and it just comes right down to the wire. So, as you said, SPG are going to have to do really, really well to make sure Dreamers don't make them collapse pretty much instantly. And, I mean, with this kind of lineup, it's going to be tough. Aid, huge player on the DPS, but we're already off to Dreamers, Apara. Dreamers, they're going to lead with Jasmine as their tank this time round. But Top Dragon, they've been absolutely popping off. We saw an incredible series with them on Genji. Sad, we'll be backing them up and keeping everybody alive. We'll be missing them data.
Yeah, certainly two very strong teams going up against each other. This Jasmine versus Milgaru tank matchup is going to be really exciting to see. But also, I'm also interested to see the likes of maybe Although versus Top Dragon or Sad. You know, there's some really big names here for both teams. And ultimately, I do feel like this still could be quite an intense match and potentially a chance for Dreamers to drop a map.
This is definitely their hardest opponent yet, and SPG as well. They've been in the furnace, so they've been cooking all these new meta strategies. Like I said before, Dreamers, there's been a little bit since we've last seen them too, so a lot of these teams that otherwise we've thought maybe a little bit more middle of the pack have proven themselves over time. Now they're bringing it to what's considered the bigger teams. Can they pull through? This is where you can really see, okay, SPG, they've done really, really well winning the really tough matchups, but here's Dreamers. Have fun.
Yeah, SPG certainly going to have to wake up, sharpen up their game. I'm excited to see if it works out, though. I mean, definitely this is going to be an intense match, and what a map to start on as well. Busan, admin pick, of course, but there is so much variety that we can start out with on Busan. I'm excited to see what both teams bring, even. And,
dream up.
You know,
what about that?
Yeah, dream up. I'm excited
what has Dreamers been dreaming up? I mean, look, we've been seeing some pretty, let's just say, not average, but cookie cutter picks from Dreamer. Like, you know, you get the Genji, you get the Zarya, you get the Orisa. Wouldn't surprise me if we see what we've been seeing for on Busan, especially mecha based and stuff, like those maps where it is very brawly. You usually see the Orisa. However, it would not surprise me if Zarya comes out as well. And then the other open maps, though, like you said, Apara, this is where it really opens up to maybe we will see a bit more ball. Maybe we will see even a Winston come on out. But it seems like, at least for now, it will be Milgaru on the Orisa. But Jasmine, there you go, on the Junker Queen. I think we were talking about earlier, we can't wait for a Junker Queen to be Junker Queen. Maybe it's coming, but certainly not this time.
Now, asking you shall proceed, Pep. You got your mecha base straight away.
I did. How about that?
Yeah, but Jasmine already swapped off to Zarya, maybe looking to go a little bit more tried and true.
I think it was just really to bubble Top Dragon. They know Top Dragon is such an amazing Genji. Bubbling Top Dragon will allow him to go through, almost play like a tank.
There we go, it's Aid going straight into assault form here. Trying to find anybody, but just Dreamers hiding around the corner. Top Dragon now trying to go in, hoping to find a victim, and it's although falling to the grenade of Sad, making it just a little bit harder for SPG to stay up, and this is just going to be a clean sweep straight away. Dreamers going to take point early.
Felt like SPG were kind of waiting and hoping for, like, okay, Dreamers, you come to us and then we'll blow you up. But Dreamers, they kind of just split off in two different directions and then collapsed on top of SPG, and it was just a little bit too much there. Top Dragon getting so many dash resets there, and now coming back into it, Aid looking for a good pick here, but can't even get out.
They're running out. This SPG is just looking to get right onto point, force Dreamers into an uncomfortable position, and with Jasmine and Data both gone, this actually worked out. That speed, that tempo for SPG completely shattered Dreamers apart.
Yeah, I mean, usually for most teams, you don't really keep the sim past when you get out of spawn. Like, you know, Top Dragon, okay, they win sim for a tiny bit to get everyone out of spawn, but once you've kind of got it, usually you go to Genji or you might even go Tracer. But here, though, this is where you can get the TPs, really mix Dreamers up, make them super confused. Top Dragon falling to 11 HP.
We're gonna commit the blade, taking down Lee Su-min to sound barrier. Not allowing too much more to come through at the moment, but although did die during it. Look how aggressive SPG is still playing though, going right into the face of Sad, getting punished for it, but man, that was a good stagger out for Sad.
I've still kind of got the point here, SPG. They're committing artillery strike as well. Don't think it will get much, and Aid, I don't know, this might be a big stagger unless SPG can come back and save them, but talking artillery strike, Sad does have one, but it's the photon barrier first pop.
Try drop it down and it's on to 2! SPG did not like that. They tried to help the Terror Surge, but there was an artillery strike waiting to happen. Sad now just wanting to clean up and get the point back, because it did flip to SPG during it.
Not for long though. Only about 15% was gained immediately. Goes back to Dreamers, as they did use a lot of ults there, Opa. They only really have window from Missin. I guess that's a lot of damage, but if you can get Sad behind it, perhaps it'll be enough.
So there's a bit of a dry fight at the moment, but that's okay. Both teams know how to work it, and with Aid taking down Top Dragon early, that's certainly bad news. The amplification matrix is starting to even it up, and might be enough for Dreamers to turn the tide. Certainly with Wu Chen going down, it's going to make it a little bit easier, and Dreamers should take this fight.
It's really tough when you are just, it's Orisa v Zarya. We've been seeing it quite a bit with APAC, but definitely with Korean contenders. And Zarya, if she's just full of charge, it's very, very hard for the Orisa to stop. They need quick fights here.
Oh, that was not good. Aid going down early is going to make this so hard for SPG. There's so much damage gone. But Jasmine taken out through their amplification matrix. All of a sudden, SPG might have a hope here. Data gets chased down by a though, and now it really is just SPG's point to take back.
No, that was really well played there from SPG. They had to take it too. That was final fight there for Dreamers, and they have a little bit of time, especially to get those ults back up. Top Dragon at 90% and Sad with another artillery strike, which was absolutely amazing when they were all captured in that grab. But Milgaru's now holding on to the Terror Surge. SPG, they need to be really, really mindful of what ultimates they use and when, as the artillery strike will come out from Sad.
First ult to initiate this fight. Terror Surge is going to be the response from SPG, and it takes down both supports. All of a sudden, Dreamers, what are you going to do? You've got to hope this blade is big, or otherwise this point may be going SPG's way. Top Dragon just can't make it work.
Oh, Dreamers, that was so well played from SPG. They completely took out the support, so just left Top Dragon by themselves. Now it'll be a last second touch from Data.
I don't think they even got it. Yeah, both supports died. No touch.
Yeah.
Wow, SPG really being able to up the bar, go toe-to-toe with Dreamers. I wonder whether Dreamers are a little bit surprised.
I would say so. I think, you know, if they're just looking on paper, they're like, okay, we've 3-0'd everybody else. What's SPG like? But as we were saying in the intro, SPG, they've had so many of their matches, trials by fire, furnace, and just... It's been quite insane. They've managed to bring back so many, and they're doing it again here. And I guess now, going into this next map, can they keep it going? Wu-Chan now switched over to the Alari, which we've been seeing a little bit of. It's either the Brig or the Alari. And Milgaru, I was talking about Ball earlier, was I not? They're actually gone over to Ball. And Milgaru has been such a brilliant Ball.
Yeah, I feel like there's two players that if Ball can be played, they'll play it, and that's KSG and Milgaru. So I'm excited to see this Ball roll out here.
Oh, as they've all taken to high ground, SPG putting a lot of pressure onto Dreamers, but it's actually Dreamers to get the first pick, and it's a huge one too. That's the bat gone. There's no healing. It's going to be really, really hard to push into on this point of Para.
Yeah, Milgaru recognizes it is going to just fall back to the team. This feels like a really hard approach for SPG. They've got no tank to help them go in.
No, you're kind of hoping for, although, to hack either one of the supports, or the Bastion would be big, or maybe even the Echo from the sky, call in Milgaru to back them up. But when you don't have someone like a Genji as well, you really have to be communicative and push them into the line of sight of aid. There you go, there's a pick, but it's going the other way too.
Yeah, Bastion's sort of traded there, kill for kill, but Top Dragon then taking down Lee Soo-min. Once again, SPG does not have their support, and they just cannot enter in. Sure, Alari's good, but it's more the turret than the characters themselves. They're the DPS part.
That's a brutal stagger onto Wu-Chan there, as it does tick up to 40%. This is where it starts getting hard for the attackers as Dreamers. They've now got some ultimates coming online. You got the duplicate. You also nearly got artillery strike as well. However, SPG, they've nearly got their own amplification matrix at least. There's a hack onto... Oh no! Is that Jasmine gone?
No, Jasmine survived, managed to get into an immortality, stay alive a little bit longer. Top Dragon now duplicating onto the Baptiste as well. That just opens the door for Data to go crazy, taking out two. And Milgaru not quite going to get away that time as Top Dragon's duplicate cleans it up.
Top Dragon going onto BAP. You don't see that very often. Most of the time it has been onto the tanks despite the health decrease that you get. Now though, Apara, this is final fight territory already. 80% onto Dreamers, and they only really had to use one ultimate of Top Dragons to take it. SPG, they need to come with a miracle here.
Oh, getting the Alari taken down is devastating news for SPG right now. They do even it up with Dreamers going missing here, but now Milgaru trying to stall it out. Minefield on point, but the Flux is also going to be scaring that Wrecking Ball away from point. Takes him out too. The boulder, the accretion right on top of Lee Soo-min. Jasmine just giving us a masterclass right now on the Stigma. Just two left, and this point will go to Dreamers.
Yeah, I don't know why all those stuck with the Sombra for so long. They had the EMP for a little while, but it didn't get nearly as much value as they were hoping to. Perhaps you run it out, you know, in case they run a ball or something, which would be very unlike Dreamers, to be honest. But once they couldn't get the picks that they were really searching for, SPG, forcing the Sombra not getting any value was a tough one. Now, my goodness, Jasmine, though, completely shut down, not just the BAP, but also the minefield as well. Didn't get any value. There's the EMP, couldn't even get a pick themselves. And SPG, I don't know, that looked like a bit of a different team there. Apara's Dreamers kind of downloaded them a little bit here. So hopefully as they run out here, SPG, they've got a bit of a different comp with Aid now. Beautiful Widowmaker going off to the side to see if they can get a big pick onto someone like Misson or Data.
Widow needs to pop off here. I think that's the big play for SPG, is just what can Aid do? Milgaru will put people in the air. Aid needs to follow up.
There's a bit of a ring around a Rosie here as they've now almost swapped sides. Wu-Chan though, first to fall again. Top Dragon, beautiful Genji.
I everyone's just everywhere, and the Dreamers can just run you over. Just kind of become a bit of a death ball, chase down one target, catch them out, and now they're finding the next two. Although May have taken out one, and Milgaru took out Miss, and Dreamers are still getting majority of the picks on their side.
It's the difference between taking a Lucio over taking a Lari in this case. Like, you want a Lucio when you do have the Zarya, you can chase them down. It also helps Genji. Yes, they have dash, but it's so that they can hold dash a little bit longer, follow up a little bit easier as well. So that is why this Lucio is working so well as SPG. They are solely reliant on getting picks, or although getting into the backline, who's now actually gone off the Sombra from last round onto the Tracer. What a pick, but Top Dragon again, first to get it.
Oh man, Top Dragon is just nasty. We've been saying a lot, this Genji from Top Dragon is crazy, and that's why, you know, Top Dragon just knows who to focus down. Taking now Lee Soo-min out. SPG are just started trickling in.
I feel really bad for Wu-Chan. They've been the first to fall in 3 fights in a row. They're only 60% to their captive son. Oh, that was aid that time.
Now got onto the Sojo, but still not making anything work. The Pulse Bomb is going to take out Sam, but this Blade is finishing off Wu-Chan and the turret. You know, going to get that other player from the team, and
support.
Yeah, the real support here.
The real support.
Milgaru!
What?
Finally making a little bit of a meal out of Dreamers, and finally turning the favor into SPGs.
At 68% too, that's not too bad. As well, they only had to use Minefield and Bomb there. They've got a really big ultimate of Lee Sung-min now with the carry. I guess that would allow Wu-Chan, but especially A, to really pop off now they've got the defensive positioning. So as the Kasune Rush should be popped here, I'd hope proactively as Dreamers, they're just kind of taking space for free right now. And they go! They're down! Lee Sung-min!
It can't be popped when they're taken out. Top Dragon once again just putting in that work, finding those critical picks, and how it just makes this fight so much easier. Grab onto 2, easy cleanup for Sad and Top Dragon, and points right back to Dreamers.
Oh, it kind of just felt like they gave Dreamers a little bit too much space there, or at least gave Top Dragon too much space. However, it seems like Top Dragon always the first one to get a pick. However, SPG, they need to take this next fight here, otherwise they will be down a whole map into this series here. But with Top Dragon going in as hard as they are...
Oh, the captive son just to punish Top Dragon, and Top Dragon's still alive so far. Data did fall, and Aid now taking out Top Dragon, wants to punish Wu-Chan for this aggression there, but not able to finish them off just yet. Lee Soo-min comes in, although is able to turn the tables back to SPG.
Top Dragon got a little bit excited there, I think. He just isolated himself away from the rest of the team. Sag got picked out there, which is exactly what you want to do as SPG. You need to look for those stragglers, and this is the final, it could be the final fight. Dreamers looking to take this one, but Milgaru, beautiful minefields the last time, needs to be replicated. However, Top Dragon does have the Blade in its back pocket.
Yo, wanting to get in from behind, but Top Dragon's Blade finding 2, completely turning the fight back to Dreamers, and that should be Dreamers taking this point. It's just, will anyone touch? Milgaru taken down overtime, was ticked, but yeah, Dreamers get our first map for the series.
I know this was a small thing, but completely shut down the Pulse Bomb as well with a beautiful bubble. I thought just those little micro plays, absolutely amazing, keeping the Bastion alive, allowing the damage to keep coming through that amp matrix. So Dreamers completely downloading in the end. It's like that, right? They lose a map, they're like, okay, this is how SPG want to play, and it really felt like SPG barely touched the point in those final 2 maps, but it is, however, SPG's map choice for the next one, so it's up in the air. How do they want to try and get over the top of Dreamers?
Yeah, I mean, SPG, they're definitely going to have to try figure out what they're going to do against Dreamers. They're going to take a short break to figure that out, and so will we, so don't go anywhere. Dreamers are up 1-0, and so far looking quite strong, especially on those last 2 matches. SPG looked good first point. I wonder whether we'll see that Orisa come back, Pat.
I mean, I think it's a question also for what map SPG want to pick. You've got Blizzard World, Kings Row, or Midtown. Now we see a lot of Midtown. This, even if you've watched APAC, and especially if you've watched Korean Contenders, we see a lot of Midtown. We did see Blizzard World yesterday. There was some small miracles. We thought that was just the OPAPA map, but I guess not. I doubt, it's very doubtful we'll see Kings Row. I think we've only seen it once. All the way back in week 1, I believe, of Korean Contenders. So if we do end up going Midtown, again, it might be a difference of comps. We might see, like, for example, we have seen a double sniper. That was more in the APAC. But again, we have seen, even if it's just the Widowmaker with the Bastion, it wouldn't surprise me if both teams still end up running Bastion, or at least the attacking team, like SPG, running Bastion with the Orisa comp. But they do have to find an answer to this Zarya.
Now, it looks like we are going Kings Row. It looks like we're going Kings Row. And I wanted to say, I feel like Midtown is not a good map pick, purely because of Jasmine Sigma. And we see a fair bit of Sigma on Midtown, so I think it's a smart choice to not go Midtown. But Kings Row, what do you think SPG are wanting to bring out? Do you think they're going to keep the Wrecking Ball? Maybe go... that feels risky.
If they do, I will stroke chin very aggressively if I see that again, especially on this on a map like this. However, Apara, just back on that Sigma, I still think Jasmine could run a Sig on defense, but yeah, there you go. I called it. They are going to run the Sig on the defense because it is so good at stopping an aggressive push. That's if Milgaru decides to go on the Doomfist. There's absolutely no way we'll see a Life Weaver, right? This is small miracles could happen. But anyway, on the defense, though, like we were saying or suggesting, Sad will remain on that Bastion. Top Dragon, though, we don't see Echo too often. Some maps that you do see is a lot in Ilios, but here you have got a lot of cover up above with the hotel you can fire down with. And Dreamers, though, they're looking for a very bunkery poke comp, whereas SPG, they just want to go all in. Although is on the Genji, just looking for a quick pick. Wouldn't surprise me if they switch after a little bit. But yeah, Milgaru, they need to find a way in and a pick fast. But Jasmine, like you said, their Sigma is so brutal.
I would be scared going up against Jasmine's Sigma, that's for sure. But Milgaru immediately paying dividends with that Doomfist pick. Takedown data, Sad, following up on Lee Soo-min, and it becomes so much harder to approach when your Ana's not there to shoot heals from far, and Blue Chain just isn't enough.
Yeah, that was really lucky for Dreamers to take out the Ana because you lost data, you lost the heal yourself, so it's pretty much a dead fight. But this is where the poke comp is really brutal because Dreamers, they can consistently build up that ult charge. SPG just backing up a little bit, waiting and building Nano Blade, which is definitely their win condition here. But although it's down, one of your win conditions can't die.
Yeah, you can't build Nano Blade when your Genji can't build the blade part of that. That's not good news for SPG at the moment, as they are sent right back home.
Right back, and that is the first minute and 15 seconds burnt down from Dreamers. And as I always say, this is where the ults come out to play. You have the flux from Jasmine to shut down a big dive should Wu-Chan want to pop Kitsune Rush in the next one. It wouldn't surprise me because it would help, certainly, at least on Min, and although to build up that blade, even if they can't win off the back of it. But then the Ant Matrix.
And a Bastion shooting right through that is scary news. Milgaru recognized it, had to just get away. Kitsune Rush is available if they want to try rush in, but with A taken down once again, SPG's approach is just halted.
Yeah, first 2 minutes are down, but this is where it becomes a little bit scary for Dreamers. How are they going to shut down this Nano Blade that's coming out? I guess you got Duplicate if you want to, I don't know, get onto the Kiri for at least a little bit of invincibility for some time, but Milgaru getting taken out. They just keep getting picked after pick. Dreamers are doing an exceptional job at the moment.
It feels like there's a lack of coordination going on from SPG. Everyone's just trying to go their own journey, and it's not working out.
They're trying to find themselves, but instead they're just finding the spawn room again and again. But here comes the Nano. Blade.
Right onto Bastion. Bastion managing to survive with the immortality and actually surviving through pure heals. You're right, Top Dragon duplicated the Kiriko and managed to keep that alive, completely shut down the Blade. And SPG's potentially last hope has been completely taken out. Now Artillery Strike trying to zone anyone else out. Wu-Chan hoping to find a dream there, but Top Dragon's sticky bombs are going to take them down. Jasmine going right up to Lee Sumin's face, and Sad finishes them off. SPG, what are they going to do?
That's a bit of a head scratcher, right? You have Aid. Aid is a wonderful hit scan player, but they've put a lot of pressure onto the poor bloke. He's got the overclock, and never mind, they're doing a complete switch, SPG. Final fight. Aid gone over to the sim for, obviously, to teleport them in and all past a lot of that poke, but Dreamers, they're onto it.
Jasmine right up in your face, although it's the first to go down though. Top Dragon's going to even it up, taking out one of the supports of Lee Su-min. Hoping to now find Aid with those sticky bombs. It doesn't quite connect, and Jasmine taking themselves out actually might finally be the opening SPG need. And yeah, this point is going to start ticking over. Data down, it's just missing.
Yeah, with both your supports gone really late as well, that will basically confirm SPG will take that first point. As not just that, but because of the support late picks, they'll get a really long spawn, so that will force Dreamers to wait until at least the second corner here. SPG will be able to push up with Milgaru on that Reinhardt, which I'm always a fan to see Reinhardt back in play, and seeing a little bit of off meta has kind of shaken Dreamers up here, Opa.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen FM try the Reinhardt. Let's see whether SPG has a little bit more success, as that amplification matrix is going to make it hard for Milgaru to come out of this wee little bookshop right now. Manages to just flank around, and with the photon barrier, you've got a little bit more room to breathe. Artillery Strike, not going to take anyone out, but that Gravitic Flux saved by an immortality for now. Jasmine really hoping that was going to come out big, but not quite as big as they hoped. Milgaru, though, feeling a lot of pain. Missing, finishing them off. Top Dragon also took out Lee Su-min, so now Jasmine's just hoping to send these last few SPG members back to spawn.
Oh, this will be quite long too. Can Lucio get out in time? Wu-Chan running, although there's no escape for them. As they will... I'm surprised, honestly, Milgaru's this far up. I suppose they do have Shatter, though, with a 3v2. You may as well push this. Lucio also back in play, too. And you can see Dreamers really respecting the Reinhardt. They know exactly the Shatter that they have.
Yeah, Shatters online. Artillery Strike 2. Onto Sad, but not quite finishing them off. The heals from Missing were enough, and so now Milgaru just looking for the TP Shatter, but it's still blocked! Still blocked! They predicted the TP Shatter, got the shield from behind! Jasmine is so talented on the Sigma, and Milgaru falls, getting absolutely decimated from Data here, and now once again, SPG are just wondering, where are our ults going?
Well, look, they did it once. Maybe they can do it again. Their biggest ultimates in play were used in the second last fight. 15 seconds remaining here. Milgaru, interestingly enough, has not gone over to the ball with only 10 seconds. Can they even touch Oprah? I'm not really sure. There's a duplicate from Top Dragon. I reckon everything's really on Wu-Chan.
Oh, Lee Su-min taken out. Even if they do get a touch, it's going to be so hard! The 4K Artillery Strike! They were still going to get that map win, but with style. Oh, not map win, point win, but with style now.
Wow, okay, Sad. Damn. Sad just said no, basically, to anything SPG was trying in that final fight. I think they were really hoping for the TP, but there was no immortality field to stop Artillery Strike at all. They were just sitting ducks to it. That was absolutely brutal. I think we're going to see it from again. I'm not unhappy to do it. You can see what they were trying. Yeah, they were trying to TP. They were trying to TP.
Did you see Data's stun onto Milgaru as well, just to make sure no one got out? That was beautiful. That rally to stun them out. That was really nice.
Well, can Dreamers now? They don't have to push it too far, but point A it can be difficult. Milgaru on ball. I was like, I was gonna have some words.
Hey, I said it might come.
Yeah, you did. You called it. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, you do see ball, I guess, occasionally there's a lot of grapple spots because it is quite close quarters, relatively speaking, but Dreamers coming out with the Tsar. Now, there's always that classic, do I go Genji, do I go Reaper? And Dreamers go, no, why not both? It will be hard to shut down, never mind, to shut down the ball. Now it won't, because Sad's gone Bastion. If they can stun him, even just a little bit, especially with Although immediately seeing Milgaru on the ball going over to the Mei. Top Dragon, though, actually switched over. They're switching a lot. Now over to the Genji to put a lot of pressure onto the Bastion.
And it works! Aid taken down first. Top Dragon really happy. Sadmay got the kill, but Top Dragon certainly set it up for them. And now Dreamers have quite the control over point. SPG are going to have to find a way to approach, but everyone is everywhere, and that's so easy for Dreamers to just clean up. Milgaru is able to protect Wu-Chan for now. Will it be enough to stall it out and bring this fight back? Although going down, I do not think so anymore.
That's the issue with ball, unless ball's constantly getting value in their backline. Wow, that was a last-second switch onto the Orisa from Milgaru. They got back and spawned just in time before it switched. And I think good thing too, because what I was about to say is Dreamers, once they get that first pick, there's nothing to stop it. There's no tank in your way, like an Orisa, like Jasmine Sigma, to shut anything down on the defense. And I think it's a really good choice. Have a little bit more of that frontline support for the rest of your team, for Aiden, although to get those walls. The Top Dragon, as ever, just getting it the fastest played known to man, already 70%.
And look at this time as well, 5 minutes left on the clock. That wall is good though from SPG, immediately taken out. Dreamers putting in so much damage with Sad. Amplification Matrix now free because there is no Mei wall to try and block it, and not quite being able to line up anything, but Jasmine taking down Milgaru is bad news for SPG. The box is getting closer and closer by the second, and Sad's taking nades. The Captive Sun falling so low. Wu-Chan not able to get any value out of that Captive Sun. Now just being chased down. There's a blade from Top Dragon just to get the kill, and miss it as our payload princess pushing it through to the end there.
Oh gosh, it is hard to see a way out right now for SPG, unless they do something that their opponents nearly try and do, but actually succeed, and that's go for this reverse sweep. But at the moment, Dreamers, I don't want to do the whole daft thing, but they have sufficiently downloaded and adapted to whatever happened in that first map, right? There's nothing that SPG have been able to come up with. Like Milgaru going on the ball, I guess the plan was to just get into their backline, annoy them enough for Aid the opening to just mow them down, but that's where you get the Genji of Top Dragon just completely mowing you down.
Listen, SPG are now in a position where they have to try and do what all their opponents tried and do, and bring the reverse sweep. We'll see whether they're able to gather up the energy together to take it on Flashpoint after a short wee break. Dreamers have put themselves in quite the nice position to potentially go without another map loss. However, we're moving into Flashpoint, and if everyone knows what happens on Flashpoint, it seems to be the map where things turn and teams kind of wake up almost and start taking the match back. So will SPG be able to do that, especially after two of their rival teams that they played against did it to them?
It literally, as I was about to point out, both times it's happened to SPG whenever they've gone to Flashpoint. Sometimes they have won it, don't get me wrong, but this is where the team, it just seems like this is where all the teams that have been losing so far, they can clutch it out, start to turn it around. Also, Flashpoint is notoriously pretty long. You have a lot of time. Even if you drop two of the objectives, you can still come back into it. So it's all about, will they pick New Junk City or Savasa? Savasa, a little bit more open, I'd argue. You've got a little bit more open spaces, more angles to flank. Whereas if you want to go like super duper brawly, a lot of New Junk City's objectives are like that. And we have seen a little bit from SPG. We saw some Reinhardt plays, so if you do want to teleport around. However, it's not to say you can't try that in Savasa. But we have seen Milgaru go so hard on the ball recently, even if it is to their detriment on Kings Row. And Savasa, because of its more openness, maybe they will go that and really allow Milgaru to get into their backline a bit easier, flank, put Although on the Tracer again, or maybe even try them on the Genji because it's been working so well for Top Dragon.
Listen, if they do that, all I'm asking is that they kind of move a bit more together. I feel like it's been very much individualistic in their fights, and what's happening is because they're taking these individualistic fights, Dreamers are just finding the players alone and collapsing on top of them. So I think it can work, especially if we do go to Siravasa. It might even work on New Junk City. But I just really want to see SPG playing together just a little bit better.
It's the difference in the speed boost, right? Like, what Dreamers are doing time and time again is controlling the fight in terms of its speed. When do Dreamers want to come in? Whereas at SPG, they kind of have to be more reactive to what is going on. And whereas Dreamers, they're just proactive. They're like, okay, what are we doing? We're going to do it, and we're going to make it work. And it does. Like, Top Dragon, I'd love to see the stats, but it has to be at least 80% of the first kills are because of Top Dragons on the Genji. So this needs to come now into SPG's favor if they want to play the slower, more thought out fights. I'm not saying Dreamers aren't thought out, like, it clearly is very communicative. But SPG, they need to be able to get those picks. There's just something that's not happening because of said groupings. And Savasa, there you go. Maybe Milgaru will bring out the ball again because of this. However, not to say that Orisa, or maybe they might match the Zarya that we've been seeing time and time again from a wonderful Jasmine.
I think this makes sense. I think for what SPG have been wanting to run, Saravasa is just the map that makes a little bit more sense, you know. It definitely feels like a little bit more open for Wrecking Ball to go around and take people down. There's a lot of open points. I mean, Garden, Palace, even just the first point of market is fairly open and available for Wrecking Ball to roll around. So I think it is a really good pick for SPG.
It is, but then again, like, Dreamers, maybe they'll lose an objective, but we might see exactly what happened on Busan yet again, and it's like, oh, okay, that's how you want to play it, do you? It cracks Knuckles, changes a couple of heroes around, and this is where SPG really need to prove their adaptability, because it seems like as soon as Dreamers answer one of their trump cards that SPG might have, they don't have any more to fall back on. So Milgaru, we were guessing it, weren't we, Apara? They want to play the ball. Fair enough, too. One of their best heroes and one they're most known for, really, as we will be rolling out for potentially the final map of this matchup.
And look at that, Dreamers moving just like such a solid unit. Milgaru notice where they're going, so at least SPG know where Dreamers are approaching, can try and formulate a plan to take it down. It's going to be sad going right into Assault Form. Does get pile drive, but Top Dragon right in your face, deflecting. Aid doesn't care, just going to ignore the Genji right behind you and hope to not fall, but Jasmine manages to take them down. Lee Soo-min and Wu-Chan follow, and Dreamers quite definitely are going to take our first point capture.
Oh man, there you go again. Top Dragon first to get a kill. You cannot answer a bubble Top Dragon at the moment from SPG. You've got Although on the Tracer that did get a lot of damage and picks in the backline, but it's something that you can just, you can't completely ignore, of course, but Top Dragon, you just simply cannot ignore it all. But Although is doing a little bit less damage, so because of that, you can focus more prominently on the Bastion, or on the Although themselves, as they are the first to be taken out.
Sad is taken down though. Aid is soon to follow, and SPG once again are just going to have to rethink their approach. Wu-Chan is going to take Top Dragon down last second, but yeah, SPG, they're really struggling to break apart all of Dreamers.
This is where you start questioning, as SPG, do you bother trying to touch this next point at 70%? You do have the time. You're also starting to collect a little bit more resources in terms of ultimates as well. Wu-Chan with a Kitsune rush nearly on board, but it will be, Although, with the Pulse Bomb to perhaps open this up, but Data always has the sound barrier to fall back on for Dreamers.
Ooh, Dreamers are chasing down the competition, but it's Top Dragon actually falling whilst they were using their blade. Point gets flipped to SPG from behind, and Dreamers wanted to chase down SPG, and maybe that was their grave mistake right there. Sad caught out in the artillery strike, and SPG actually have point now.
And Dreamers used grab and blade there, Abara. That is really big. And sound barrier, and still lost. That is rotten for them, but incredible for SPG. You would be so happy. The only thing you've got as Dreamers now is the artillery strike to perhaps take this. SPG, though, they've got that minefield from Milgaru and Wu-Chan. I mean, need I say more with a Kitsune rush? As Dreamers, they're pretty desperate this fight, to be honest.
Rushing right onto point. Milgaru getting burnt down, but that Kitsune rush is a little bit scary for Dreamers, hoping not to get caught out, and his Top Dragon pile driven into the ground, completely flattened. Jasmine taken out with a punch. Aid taking down 2, and that's SPG actually capturing our first point of market.
That was really well played there, Wu-Chan. They only had to use the Kitsune rush to be able to take it. Milgaru being a nuisance in the back, just allowed for Aid to do what Bastion does best, and that's just burn them down. Now, this next one, this is really close actually to both the spawn and the previous objectives, so it will be a relatively dry fight from either side. However, Milgaru, you can see, looking for those mines.
Those mines could zone out point. So could this artillery strike. Really just depends on where they want to put it. Artillery strike just making it a little bit harder now for SPG to enter in onto Dreamers. And same with the artillery strike from SPG, forcing Dreamers back a little bit, giving SPG some space to finally enter in a little bit closer to point. Milgaru hoping to harass these supports, and the pulse bomb takes Missing out. Now followed down by Data going out, and SPG get this point.
That was really well played there from SPG, but they did have to use quite a number of ults to get that point, and it was the pulse bomb that ultimately turned it around. Dreamers now, they're switching around just a little bit. Data, though, still has that sound barrier to come into this next fight, but SPG doing it. Dreamers, they're going forward really hard here.
Don't even let Dreamers approach onto point, and this open alleyway makes it so hard for a team to gather together, and Aid showed us why. You can just burn down an alley and take everyone out.
What did we say about Flashpoint? I wish we could just like rewind the clip. Wow, teams, have you found that a lot of them managed to start their reverse sweeps on Flashpoint? SPG are like, hell yeah, brother. And watch me as this is their final fight.
Kitsune Rush came out, Top Dragon's blade as well, but getting caught in a grab. Aid taken down. It's a little bit even, a little bit messy. SPG hoping to be able to finish off these last few players of Dreamers, and actually it's just going to be Jasmine trying desperately to survive. Top Dragon causing a little bit of harassment as well. Although, they've actually decided, SPG, let's give them the point and take a fight later.
Yeah, once Wu-Chan fell, you have no healing there, and it was just a matter of time. And at that point, you're already at 99% for SPG. You only need to take one more good fight off of Dreamers. And Dreamers used a lot of ults that 1-2 just to take that objective. As Milgaru, they're already back in your backline.
Milgaru's got that minefield as well. Pulse bomb from Although, and actually the back cap, all of a sudden, who's going to be touching now from Dreamers? They completely gave up the point there, Pat. What?
Yeah, they were like, you know what, I want to take out SPG, but they might actually get taken out themselves here, Dreamers. It's very back and forth here, but ultimately Milgaru will be the one to finish off Dreamers, and SPG, they're going to get the first cap of this maybe last objective for SPG. They're starting something here.
Pat, this is twice now Dreamers have decided to just run after someone, give up point, and lose it because of that. I don't love the strategy Dreamers are bringing out. I love this artillery strike, though. It could be quite big, managing to put a lot of pain onto Sad, managed to survive, though. Amplification Matrix lined up together, but it's Jasmine all on the board this time, and Dreamers will get the first cap here. Can they hold on to it this time?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, as long as they don't get too excited and try and go for someone like Aid right in the backline and allow Although and Milgaru, those two together have been absolutely chaotic. Especially for someone like Misson, who's just trying to survive, just trying to heal, but very hard when you get booped around. And speaking of boops, we have the minefield from Milgaru, who's looking to line up, especially Sad there. But Dreamers, they're actually really good with their ultimates this time around. They still have 3 coming up to 4 with Jasmine's grabs. So, what are you thinking?
Blade. Not gonna be saved. Lee Soo-min falling. Immortality's not gonna work out. There's 2 supports gone and 8 finished off. That is just 1 push completely shut down and a minefield gone too.
And I think the point as well, really, I think realistically for SPG, I would not take this. However, Dreamers doing what Dreamers do best and kind of going a little bit too far forward. It actually could be possible for Milgaru to touch, of course, if they want to. Which okay, they do.
I think that's what this comp specializes in, is getting those touches and potentially trying to come through for the stall. This artillery strike now forced out, and a grab as well thrown into the mix here. Lee Soo-min falling low, managing to bounce out, and Jasmine and Sad Bull missing, taken out as well, and that's what this comp specializes in, those last minute displacements and touches to get point back.
It's almost like Dreamers, they were a bit too split up. They didn't really think that they wanted to go in as hard as SPG ended up doing. And Dreamers, they actually were, I want to say forced, but almost baited from SPG to use that many ultimates. They used Grav and Artillery Strike and also Beat from Data to keep everybody alive there too. So now they're missing a lot of ults, but except for Misson.
Artillery strike taken out. Misson, they got the amplification matrix off in time. Top Dragon now right in 8's face, and with the help of Jasmine managed to take them down. Sad does follow, however, so no bastions for either team, and with Top Dragon taken down, this could be it for Dreamers here. They're gonna have to go on to something fast or come up with a really big play to be able to get a touch. I think SPG might be taking our Flashpoint here, Pat.
I'd say so. Data's back alive though, has a good maybe 7 seconds to be able to touch, but yeah, you're not SPG, you don't have Milgaru there, and Lee Soo-min does have the window to use if they need to. They don't. SPG take it. It's actually possible. Dreamers lost a map. I don't believe it.
Yeah. That's the big thing, I guess, is Dreamers have now lost a map. Their armor does not look as strong as everyone sort of predicted here. And also, I just feel there were some really strange decisions from Dreamers. I did not love both times they chased people down and just allowed the backcap to happen. A backcap on Flashpoint is so devastating, Pat.
They also, Dreamers, I said it a lot, they used really big ult and still lost fights. And these fights were always pivotal to a point where Dreamers didn't even get one single objective in Flashpoint. SPG, they managed to work their way around everything that Dreamers were able to throw at them. Okay, there was some grabs. That bit, I don't think a single grab really picked up anything major. We'll see if SPG can keep this bullet train rolling, as we will be moving into push right after this break.
SPG have their sights set on the reverse sweep. The question now becomes, can they make it happen, or will Dreamers find an opportunity to shut them down? Pap, we're moving into push. What do you think Dreamers want to do to be able to make SPG a little bit uncomfortable on their reverse sweep dream?
Well, what you could look at is you could look at Kings Row. Like Kings Row, they played a pretty brawly comp on attack, not on defense. That was very pokey, I will admit. But this is whatever it will be, especially if they pick someone like Colosseo, because it is, of course, Dreamer's pick. Now, as SPG did take that last map there, if they do pick up something like Colosseo, that's where it is, that sort of long hallway-esque wow, okay, there you go. Colosseo it is. That's where it is, that long hallway. You can get a bit of poke, but that's where you can get that Lucio rush that we've been seeing a lot, of course, with Dada and Jasmine. And on top of that as well, Top Dragon going back on over to that Genji too will make it tougher for SPG. But now that SPG have at least got something rolling here, not even allowing Dreamers to get a single objective capture, it's going to be a little bit tougher. But the ball is back in Dreamers' court. Can they return it with speed?
I think of all the map choices, this probably does make the most sense. Like, Colosseo definitely makes it quite a bit harder for a Wrecking Ball to have fun. Whereas, you know, New Queen Street and... man, how's it leaving Esperanza? The one we see the most. How am I forgetting about it? But yeah.
True.
They both are quite a bit more open for
hear me out. We've not just seen one of the... I think we've only seen it once, King's Row today, but we're also seeing Colosseo, which we also don't see very often either. A lot of teams, they usually go onto Esperanza where they can be a little bit more divey or at least a little bit more flanky, whereas Colosseo makes it a lot harder for flanks because those windows, they have glass in them, so you can't really poke too easily. So it really will be about Jasmine and the bubble management, and then Milgaru just simply, I know this sounds a bit cliche, but just simply staying alive in amongst all the damage. Although actually sticking over still on the sim, I guess you definitely want to be teleporting behind Dreamers, making it as confusing as possible to who to bubble.
Top Dragon once again looking for a way to enter into this fight. Those turrets making it a little bit scarier, all those TP as well. Right into Dreamers and Aid, putting in a lot of pressure. Data falls because of it. Jasmine, however, taking down Lee Soo-min and Sand, finding their Bastion counterpart. Now tank counterpart gone down. Milgaru out of this fight. Jasmine hoping to clean up these last few and get bot in their control early on.
That's exactly what Dreamers had to do against SPG, is not to be afraid of the teleporter and start actually attacking SPG as quickly as possible, because if you were to retreat for too long, that's where Aid can pick you off. And although building up the Stim Beam as quickly as possible there, Dreamers now in control of Philip the bot, as Top Dragon and Sad trying to get their ultimates up for this next engagement here.
Dragon helping Sad take down Aid. Now going to try and find Milgaru, but actually opting to go for the supports. Lee Soo-min falling missing, followed up as well, and Milgaru does get taken down though, so SPG may have taken out 2, but Dreamers still win that fight.
Dreamers win that fight, but losing 2 will hurt them in the next attack. SPG, they will be speeding back with Wu Chan. It will be a 3v5, unless Data, of course, goes all the way back. But Top Dragon with a blade, maybe wanting to go for the 2v5, but no. Dreamers quite rightly just backing up. They do have a lot of ultimates, though, to use in this next fight. But so do SPG here. They have that photon barrier, which will negate so much of the damage, whatever's thrown at them. And Wu Chan needs to build up this down barrier, which they're very close to, especially with Jasmine's grab here.
Although, hoping to just find someone early, not wanting Top Dragon to enter in Photon Barrier to shut down that grab, but it's an artillery strike. It can go right behind your Photon Barrier and so get Top Dragon's blade. Top Dragon does get caught out by Wu Chan, however, Jasmine has to take a bit of time to get some health back. Sound Barrier is going to keep Jasmine alive. Javelin to push them away, and now a Terror Surge to try catch someone out. Sad falling so low, Milgaru taking them down, but falling themselves as well. Aid hoping to hurt Jasmine right where it hurts, and it's going to be Aid actually finishing them off. Jasmine now no longer in this fight, and SPG really wanting to be able to take control here. Top Dragon's back though, so could bring a lot of damage, especially through the amplification matrix. Aid trying to flank around, avoid the window that could cause so much pain, and SPG do get bot in control.
Yeah, now that Data has gone, they do have to back up because they cannot speed boost around the Bastion, making it hard for Aid to land shots. So you got to use that natural cover for at least a little while, but Top Dragon right back into it, not allowing them to take the lead.
Milgaru wanting to TP with everyone else. Javelin right onto Sad. Sad manages to get some heals though and actually take down Aid. Top Dragon now taking out Although, and Dreamers are right back in this fight, but bot back in their control.
I have to say that was That's SPG just pulled a Dreamers from Flashpoint. They got a bit too excited, pushed a little bit too far forward, and Dreamers, they took advantage of that. Got the one straggler that was off to the side there. And this is where Top Dragon now can be really dangerous, especially sad with that artillery strike. But it's actually Aid do the first one.
It's not really leading to too much. Milgaru getting caught out really uncomfortably, and Sad taking down 2, although tries to get some value in this fight, but it just means nothing. Dreamers on a complete roll.
Man, SPG, that was a fight you had to win, because now I dare say Philip might make it to the first capture point here before SPG can be able to touch, because Milgaru is no longer on that ball. They're no longer on the super fast comp, unless Wu-Chan wants to somehow speed boost, but they are TPing it for the top ground.
I mean, these TPs are so scary, and Sad felt it for sure. Top Dragon's blade, though, is going to turn the tides back to Dreamer's favor, taking down 4!
That was, I think, his second 4K from Top Dragon here, and that will allow Philip to go so much further this time round. However, Dreamers, I mean, look at their ults. They're completely depleted to be able to win that fight there, although actually switching over to the Mei to try and wall off Jasmine from Top Dragon, making it a little bit harder, but will be the TP, but Aid's first to fall.
Though, Cryo Freeze just to survive. Milgaru's got that Terror Surge if they want to punish Top Dragon for all the hard work they've done, but it's going to be 3 coordinate getting around the corner though, and charged up a little bit too long. All of Dreamers got out, and Top Dragon actually managed to find, although no more Mei, no more slow to affect Dreamers. Milgaru's taken down, but Top Dragon and Missing had gone now from Dreamers as well, so Jasmine all of a sudden has to put in a lot of work to try and keep the fight alive, and it's just not going to be there as SPG grit through it and get the bot back.
Yeah, well, that was really well played. Aid had the bigger beam there somehow, even though Jasmine, I think, got to 100 charge, especially after that Terror Surge too, but Milgaru, they're doing well, but you can tell they're struggling a little bit against Jasmine. It is hard to block where you can't literally block the beam at all, and you're really reliant on Lee Sung-min to get that to keep you alive there, and they, although might be getting Top Dragon really early there, didn't have the dash to get out, and that's a big opening for SPG to get something for Philip to go forward.
Oh man, although just put in so much work, caught Top Dragon out, and now look how far SPG have gone.
SPG are doing what they do best, and that's take a lot of space very quickly, and they need it, right? They need as much space as possible, because there'll be at least one more fight, and Dreamers, until they get to the first point, should I say. And Dreamers, they have a lot of ultimates to expend. How are they going to expend them? You have the grab, and you have Top Dragon's Blade again. Oh, you got Blizzard, don't you? You got Blizzard, Apara. You have Blizzard. You can shut it down.
There is a Blizzard from SPG. You could certainly shut down some of these ults here. Jasmine's grabbed from behind. It's in a really uncomfortable position. Artillery strike not finding much, unfortunately, for Dreamers here, but the Blade is going to find Aid. Now going to take out Lee Soo-min, and you know what? 3 ultimates, at least one of them worked out.
One of these will work, they said to themselves. I mean, they did have to fight through a sound barrier from Wu-Chan, and you know, you might say, oh, that wasn't a great sound barrier, they still died, but as Apara said, Dreamers, they had to expend almost every single one of their ultimates just to get a semi-clean fight. It really wasn't that clean. Missing the only one now from Dreamers to get just retain their ultimate. Milgaru, though, they're coming up with their Terror Surge. Can it be more successful than the last one? Maybe not with Sad, my goodness.
3 down, that was so quick. That was just the quickest executions from Dreamers.
Here, Apara, you play by play. No, it's my turn again. That was so fast. Already Top Dragon was just in their backline, removing SPG from the video game, and very quickly, we're now down to 1 minute and 45 seconds. SPG, they want to get that high ground as quickly as possible with that TP, but Dreamers, this time, they're going to kind of respect it. This time fighting from the bridge.
Still an amplification matrix to scare Dreamers away. The rotation was smart, but didn't quite work out how they wanted it. Sad now completely chased down by Milgaru. Missing caught in a room. You don't want to be stuck in a room with the Orisa. That is just a scary robot to be stuck with. And yeah, Dreamers recognize this. They fall back.
Yeah. Jasmine and Dada are like just noping right out of there, but they will get front spawns. That is really important because that will make SPGs not, I dare say last push here, Apara, or last proper push unless Milgaru goes over to the ball. We are at 56 seconds remaining here and Jasmine close to grab, Top Dragon building one too, and we saw what happened last time. Can SPG do anything different? Wu-Chan getting close to that sound barrier.
Terra Surge. Is it going to catch anyone out? Zad is the one to get caught out. Milgaru finishing off Missin as well. That is a great start for SPG's potential final fight. But this bot, Philip, he's going somewhere else here. Top Dragon said, hey, I'm going to just borrow this for a bit. I'm going to borrow this. I'm going to take out Wu-Chan. Top Dragon, no! You're not going to do this. Aid finishing them off.
Like, okay, they got Philip back, but that was front spawns for Dreamers. That also means that Dada and Top Dragon, they'll get back into the fight super fast. It just kind of feels like deja vu, which should not happen for SPG. You feel so down right now. At least you have Sound Barrier. You also have that Blizzard again, but it's an artillery strike to start us off.
Amplification Matrix, Photon Barrier gonna make the Amplification Matrix not get too much. Sound Barrier now for the Dragon Blade. Dragon Blade struggling to go in, especially when a Blizzard is just pushing you away. And we've got a Javelin and bot back now in SPG's control.
Yeah, Dreamers, quite rightly, they lost a pick. They're backing up, I was about to say a little bit, but Top Dragon going in, getting a little bit of charge for Jasmine more than anything. How did Missin get that pick? Lee Song, you cannot fall right now.
What an opening pick for Dreamers as well. Milgaru falling so low without a Baptiste to keep them alive. Abe wanting to stay alive too, but Jazz was there to protect anyone. SPG full. Dreamers win our series, go 3-1 and confirm the #1 seed for playoffs.
Well done, Dreamers. SPG, they put up a really, really good fight, but unfortunately Push just was not their map. And Dreamers as strong as ever, and they're not even done yet, Apara. We will see them tomorrow to see if they can go the complete sweep of their group. However, they have actually had a map taken off them. SPG, they played remarkably well, but Dreamers in the end were just too much for them.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Dreamers taking that 3-1. I'm fairly certain that now puts them up just maths-wise to a point where nobody can take it, even if J&GK win 3. I may be wrong. You know what? If J&GK win 3-0, Dreamers might drop down to the second seed. If my math serves me wrong, that might be the case. But I'm fairly certain Dreamers have put themselves into a very strong position, and I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, well, Dreamers already.
Seed.
Yeah, unless J&GK are able to beat Dreamers, which is tomorrow's match, which is another really exciting one coming up. It will be hard, but what also went super hard was Jasmine on the tank. Whether they were Sigma, mostly Zarya though, they absolutely popped off.
Yeah, Jasmine was such a solid tank on pretty much every role they played. It was just Zara and Sigma, but especially the Sigma. I feel like Jasmine shined on the Sigma. The Zara was a little bit more sloppy, but still worked out well enough that, you know, there were certainly times where Jasmine just popped off with grabs, and the combinations of grab and artillery strike, that sort of thing, were just phenomenal.
I think something also to keep in mind is that Jasmine consistently had very high charge. And I'd say in any lobby of Overwatch, it can be hard to get a charge and retain it, but you got to give at least a little bit of credit to Top Dragon. I wouldn't say feeding, it'd be like tactically feeding their brains out, getting those picks, but also just getting shot at so often that whenever you did bubble Top Dragon, you could almost guarantee a full 40 charge no matter what, and that's how you can burn down the Orisa's health bar. That's how you burn down the rest of SPGs. So, no, congratulations to Jasmine, and of course an extended congratulations to Dreamers as they are looking for their next matchup now, which will be J&GK tomorrow. But that's it for SPG. They will remain in the top at least, but we will not see them again.
Yeah, no,
this
that
round.
was
This round. I really should
SPG's.
mention. I should stress this round. Now they're gone. They're leaving. They're packing their bags. They're done.
Yeah, no. Yeah, to clarify, that was SPG's last match in the round robins. We'll see them in the playoffs for sure.
Right, we played
will
all right.
definitely see them
We're
in
done.
the playoffs. But
Goodness.
that was such an intense matchup. Simpressa was able to break down Dreamers and take a map from them. Of course, next up, Pep, we do have Revival versus Pokerface, which, once again, a very, very strong team coming into the ring.
I mean, I just say Pokerface, and they're another team that have also gone 3-0s across the board, just like Dreamers. But we will see this next match after this short break.